Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Harvey. Harvey is an old Breton/Celtic name originally rendered as Hervé in the Middle Ages. The name means battle-worthy from the Celtic elements her, battle, and viu, worthy. The name was brought to England by 11th century settlers from Brittany after the Norman Conquest of 1066. The Bretons, like the Welsh and Cornish, are from the Brythonic branch of Celtic people, while the Irish and Scottish are from the Gaelic. The Bretons were early inhabitants of Britain before many crossed the English Channel over to Brittany, a region named after them in northwestern France, in order to escape the invading Anglo-Saxons of the 5th century. The name Hervé or Hervé gained a following among Bretons in the 6th century thanks to Saint Hervé, 521 to 556, one of Brittany's most revered saints. Born into an aristocratic family and blind from birth, Hervé chose a life of isolated contemplation as a hermit and poet. He built an abbey in Brittany and was considered a miracle worker, especially when it came to animals. Saint Hervé is most often depicted with his companion, a wolf, and his feast day is June 17th. The Bretons introduced the name to the English centuries later, but its usage became rare later on in the Middle Ages. It wasn't until the 19th century that Harvey was resurrected in England again. Today, Harvey does remarkably well in England/Wales, the 47th most popular boy's name in 2011, and it's a top 100 in Northern Ireland. In the United States, however, Harvey has fallen far from fashion. Personality of the boy named Harvey. The number 7 personality is deeply mystical and highly in tune with their spirituality. They operate on a different wavelength than the average Joe. Spending time alone comes easily to 7s, as it gives them time to contemplate philosophical, religious, and spiritual ideas in an effort to find real truth. 7s are wise, but often exude mystery as if they are tapped into something the rest of us don't understand. They love the outdoors and are fed by nature. 7s are constantly seeking to understand human nature, our place in the universe, and the mystery of life in general. This makes them quite artistic and poetic, but they are also keen observers with high intellect, so they are equally scientific-minded. 7s are charitable and care deeply about the human condition. Popularity of the boy named Harvey. Harvey was a consistently popular and relatively high-ranking name in the 19th century up through a good part of the 20th century here in the United States. It was around the early 1940s that Harvey would finally lose a position on the top 100 list of most favorite boy names in America. After that, the name saw a slow and steady descent into non-usage, a drop on the charts which accelerated more significantly in the 1990s. By 1998, Harvey was officially passé when the name fell off the top 1,000 list. It seemed he was headed for permanent retirement until he resurfaced in 2011. As mentioned above, Harvey sees impressive usage in England and Northern Ireland, so maybe Americans are taking a second look. Yes, Harvey is old-fashioned and outdated by US standards, but he may have become so uncool that he's turning cool again. If American parents are embracing Henry and Harry again, why not Harvey? If there's one thing we know, this little guy is battle-worthy. Quick facts on Harvey. Gender, boy. Origin, Celtic. Number of syllables, 2. Ranking popularity, 616. Pronunciation, Harvey. Simple meaning, battle-worthy. Characteristics of Harvey. Eccentric, mystical, solitary, wise, intuitive, philosophical, imaginative. Cultural references to the baby name, Harvey. Literary characters of the baby name Harvey. Harvey is the marvelous anthropomorphic big bunny friend of the mild-mannered Elwood P. Dowd in Mary Chase's Pulitzer Prize-winning 1944 play, also made into a memorable movie in 1950 with James Stewart as Dowd. Elwood used to be smart, but now he's chosen another path, one that is much more rewarding for him. Harvey may or may not be imaginary. When Dowd is on the verge of being institutionalized for his belief, the admitting doctor himself has his own encounter with Harvey. What we do know about Harvey is that he likes to stop for a beer with Elwood at Charlie's Place or Eddie's Bar, where they find a constant string of new friends. What Harvey has to tell us is that we have choices. We can doggedly plod away at and contend with grim reality, or we can opt to choose always from the bright side. We can choose Harvey. Popular songs on Harvey. Harvey the Wonder Hamster, a song by Weird Al Yankovic, a song by Ambrosia. Harvey. Famous people named Harvey. Harvey Kurtzman, cartoonist, Saint Hervé. Copyright, Saint Hervé, 6th century Breton saint. Harvey Keitel, actor. Harvey Firestone, founder of the Firestone Tire Company. Lee Harvey Oswald, assassin of President JFK. Harvey Korman, comedic actor. Harvey Milk, one of the first openly gay politicians, assassinated SF supervisor. Harvey Martin, football player. Harvey Cushing, a father of neurosurgery.